I think like as long as they continuously encourage people to buy pay-per-view, hey guys, it's like great matches are happening. Not everything which is legal is also ethical either.
I hate to break it to you, but 300 viewers, my guy. This has 143,000 views. So guys, the topic is live commentating during arm wrestling events. Should it be allowed? Now, this has kind of been brought up because Engin basically made a post where he says, if you really want to help, then you can promote the event, but ignoring the event till the event day and acting like you are helping by live commentating is not a right action. So I kindly ask everyone to respect the decision. So I'm guessing that he's just kind of not happy about people doing live commentating because he's assuming that it's taking money out of the promotion's pocket or out of the pockets of the athletes, because that's where the money is going to when you buy a core sports, event, because there's so many promoter fees to set up the refs, to pay the athletes to come, to pay for the venue, to pay for the hotel, to pay for, all these things that cost money, obviously. So I understand it from a promoter's perspective, absolutely. But from a bigger picture standpoint, when it comes to the sport, I think that live commentating, again, we're not talking about any video sharing or audio sharing. We're talking about basically just commentating. So, for example, here is Arm Wrestling News. This was during the King of the Table 6. Now, he did a full almost 5 hours where he's just commentating the whole stream. Now, this went super, you could say viral. For arm wrestling standards, it's pretty viral in terms of the views, 143,000, which is pretty significant. Now, he's not the only one who's done this. We have, Uncle John. We have Aussie Arm Wrestler has done this. We have Ryan Bowen as well, did this during the last East versus West, again, racking up a decent amount of views. But I think the perspective is that this will only help to introduce the sport to viewers who already maybe don't even know about the sport, so they wouldn't even have known about the pay-per-view in the first place, or they wouldn't be that serious to buy it anyways. But maybe this enthusiasm will lead them to buying it in future events. And I believe that also it doesn't infringe upon any copyrights, as Pradeep and Ryan Bowen said to Engin in the past. This was 3 months ago. Now you can hear word for word what he said after talking to Pradeep and Ryan.
But I also talk with the other people, and like today, I talk with Ryan. I talk with Pradeep as well. I saw Ryan's video as well. As they say that there is nothing illegal that they are doing. So you cannot do anything about it. There's nothing illegal. So, but so not everything which is legal is also ethical either.
So that kind of sets the place for the argument whether, clearly it's not illegal, but is it ethical to do live commentary during an event while you're watching it and you're just commentating the results? Now, me personally, I bought every single East versus West since the third one, and I bought all the King of the Tables because I really enjoy watching the matches. I love it, and I don't even watch the live commentary streams, but I can imagine how a new viewer would, someone who's new to arm wrestling, let me phrase it like that, someone who maybe has seen a couple videos, but they're not too sure about what events are going on. They're a first time, someone who's getting into it, and seeing a live stream of somebody promoting it, talking about all the athletes for literally, and Pradeep made this argument as well. He's literally giving free promotion for, we got 4 hours. This is almost 7 hours for East versus West. This is 5 hours of him talking about all the King of the Table athletes, whether it's King of the Table or East versus West. It's the same point, being that you're promoting that sport, you're promoting the sport, you're promoting the event, you're promoting the athletes that are taking place in that promotion. So therefore you are promoting the event. And I think if you think about it big picture, doing live commentating can only help bring new fans to the sport who will potentially buy future pay-per-views. So I think I really don't see a problem with it personally, is what I'm trying to say.
But my point is that...
And it's not just a problem because it's not illegal. I'm saying I don't think it's ethically a problem either. As Engin said, this is a matter of ethics potentially, because obviously it's not illegal. It falls under fair use. You can you're not sharing video, you're not sharing audio, you're basically sharing your reaction to watching something, which you can't make that illegal. But what I was going to say is that I don't think it's unethical either, because myself personally, someone who's passionate about arm wrestling, I've been absolutely hooked on arm wrestling since I found out about it, trying to watch as many videos as possible. Devin Larratt, watching the Fix podcast, watching Ryan Bowen, watching all these guys who were kind of new in the YouTube arm wrestling space, and I think it helps grow the sport in general. So I want to hear more what Engin said here, and then I'm going to read some of the comments to see what the fans say, because at the end of the day, the fans are the ones who are buying these pay-per-views, so it's their opinions that matter.
I think, like, as long as they continuously encourage people to buy pay-per-view, hey guys, it's like great matches are happening. The pay-per-view link on the description section. Just go watch. It's a great event. You understand? And I think that I don't see that the part very bad. About the pay-per-view, and so that is not that easy to balance everything.
So I mean, that's a fair point. As long as you're promoting, the event, you're putting it in the description, stuff like that. Like, if you, for example, go to this, I'm sure, maybe he didn't have it in his description, Uncle John, for the King of the Table. If we look at Ryan Bowen has the link for the pay-per-view in his description. If we look at Pradeep, he sure has it right there, and I'm sure he's encouraging throughout. So you can watch these videos yourself. Yeah, we got like moderators in the chat, like putting the link there. We got Uncle John. I'm not sure how much. Yeah, so he's got a whole banner by the pay-per-view. I mean, how is that harmful? I mean, that's literally 4 hours of promoting the event from Pradeep, from Ryan Bowen, from anyone who's doing this live stream. So I think that is a fair point. I'm hoping that Engin still has that standpoint when it comes to live streaming, that if you're still promoting the event and it's all in good natured, passion about watching it, and you're not trying to just grab viewers. You're still directing it towards the pay-per-view to support it, because like I said, I always pay for it because I want to watch it. I don't want to just listen to the audio, but the audio is geared towards someone who, again, might be new to the sport. They're not too into it, but it could be something that catches their attention. Next thing you know, they're buying the next pay-per-view. So big picture, it's only helping growing the sport, in my opinion. That's why I don't see any problem with it. So let's read some of the comments here, because like I said, I want to wrap it up with some of the fans' kind of opinions on here, because that's what really matters. So let's read some of these comments. Again, I put a community post. What do you guys think about this? Should it be allowed? And I got a bunch of responses here. Let's read some of these. So, okay. Not just the ones I favorited to. I'm going to read. I mean, there's so many, so these are kind of long. For me to read every single one of these is going to take a while, but you can go to my community post if you want to see exactly all of these. But I'm going to try and go through some of these, and not just the ones that I agree with, but the people who listen to the commentary either weren't buying the pay-per-view anyway or prefer the channel's personality over the pay-per-view commentary. Engin wants to further isolate his event into a corner for the hardcore fans. Fine, doesn't grow the sport or audience by locking it away in its own corner with people who want and are able to watch 14 hours of arm wrestling. Fantastic point. Again, fantastic point. Don't have much to add to that. What Engin has done for the sport is amazing. Totally agree. I want to preface that as well. Very, very happy. The East versus West promotion has completely taken off since the WAL. Now, I barely got into the sport when the WAL was kind of doing its last season. I remember paying for that. I was like on Bleacher Report or whatever you had to pay for, and I paid for that too. I've been supporting this stuff. But what Engin has done for the sport is amazing, but here he is wrong. Can't imagine that those listening to the live commentary who also haven't purchased a pay-per-view would turn around and decide to buy pay-per-view if the commentary didn't exist. People who are illegally streaming the pay-per-view feed are the problem. Exactly. People who are actually showing the video footage. That's a complete violation. That's a copyright violation. It's honestly irrelevant what we think is right or wrong. Engin has made it clear it takes directly out of his pocket and in turn the athlete's pocket, and we should just respect that instead of trying to justify your own revenue. off someone else's event. But once again, the revenue is still going back to Engin. So this is something I don't agree with. I don't agree with this stance personally, and I'm going to stand up for that, stand up for what I believe. I would question how live commentating takes money directly out of his pocket. It can potentially introduce more people to the sport who haven't even heard of it before, and they could be putting money directly in his pocket for future pay-per-view events, is what I said. And then he said that's an L argument. These 300 viewer live streams, commentators on niche YouTube channels ain't bringing anyone that's new. Well, I hate to break it to you, but 300 viewers, my guy. This has 143,000 views. So that's not exactly 300 viewers. And he's got the link in his description, buddy. So, I mean, tell me how someone who's getting 100,000+ viewers and having the link in the description to buying the pay-per-view and is only talking about it, not showing video footage, not showing the copyrighted audio footage or video footage, but talking about the promotion for an entire 5-6 hours, and you're telling me that is not going to help grow the promotion and make more money for the promotion, makes no sense to me. It really doesn't. So 300, let's continue reading this comment. These 300 viewer live stream commentators, again, that's more than 300 viewers, my guy. Ain't bringing in anyone that's new. Really. So you don't think someone with 13,000 who's hitting algorithm hard? By algorithm, I mean it's getting pushed to people who maybe aren't completely into arm wrestling, but it's popping up in their feed because it's something that's trending right now. So do you really think someone with almost 30K followers and 140,000 views is not bringing in any money and bringing in anyone new, as he said? So I disagree with that. You all share the same clickers. Once again, disagree, because the sport is growing more and more, and we're seeing that through social media, just the growth of social media, which is only going to get bigger. Now, if a bigger non-arm wrestling YouTuber showed interest in the sport and wanted to cover an event, your argument would make sense, but the majority of live commentary viewers are there just for the spoilers. Don't necessarily agree. It could be people who are there and don't even know anything about any of the athletes. Let's read some more of these. Engin is stupid. The people live commentating are the ones spreading the word about the matches, getting people to buy the pay-per-view. Without them, nobody would even know East versus West existed. I wouldn't say Engin is stupid. I think he's trying to preserve his interest as a promoter and making more money, which is entirely understandable as someone who, again, I believe he's very, very, very passionate about the sport. So, but there is the money component, which is one of the components, and you can't deny that. As this comment actually goes into, this is a good segue to this comment, because I remember reading this comment. So this guy said, Dominic Lorenz, the core, this is a long one, but I want to read this one. The core of the issue is money, so let's put money at the top of the list here as the main issue. Before Engin embarked on East versus West, there was no money. Now that money is rolling in from the support of the fans, we find ourselves in this situation. Second on the list is how Engin promotes East versus West, which is done by Core Sports. Third on the list is YouTube, where live commentary takes place. Fourth on the list is Control, who wants to control where arm wrestling is heading. Fifth on the list is fans. Sixth on the list is arm wrestlers. Let's look at the list again. When money is at the top, those beneath it want a slice, but not everyone cares about the money. Someone wants to control the flow of money. In the past few years, money has begun to take over our sport, and gone are the years where money was not the top priority. We see now, like in most sports, money soon takes over, and the love of the sport turns to the love of money. Just look at how much money is poured into the NFL or Grand Prix racing or super yacht racing as an example. Live commentary helps promote the sport, and YouTube allow this type of thing to occur. It is fair use. Core Sports do not provide East versus West broadcasting systems because they love the sport. Okay, that's a great point. They do it as a service with numerous satellite trucks for money. Yeah. That's a fantastic point right there. Core Sports do not provide East versus West broadcasting just for the love of the sport. They're doing it to make money on pay-per-views, of course. YouTube are the same. Yep, the fans pay money for a service, and some arm wrestlers get paid money for their service. One day we'll all talk about the grassroots of the sport and how it was fun when the community built it up but the organizations took it over for monetary gains. So I think that may be a good point to leave off. Well, let's read a couple more. I want to read one or two more just because I really want to cover as many comments as I can so people don't say, oh, I was just reading the comments that agree with me or whatever. Like, this is my honest opinion. I'm sharing my honest opinion on what I believe, but I'm also reading the other comments because at the end of the day, it's important to understand what people are thinking in the community. Engen is taking on the risk and responsibility to regularly bring us the best matches. The least we can do is not piss him off by potentially taking away from his revenue. But once again, as I said, I don't think 120,000 viewers or 140,000 viewers with the link to buy the pay-per-view in the description is taking away money. If anything, it's directing it into his pocket for future promotions or even this current promotion. Because let's say, I mean, just picture you're someone who's barely heard about arm wrestling, right? You're maybe seen a couple of videos, but you don't know too much about the athletes, okay? And you click on, let's say it's Arm Wrestling News, and he's talking enthusiastically about a match, and let's say it's the start of the East versus West, and it's like 7 hours long with all the matches. So let's say it's in the first hour, and he's talking about the match and all excited and stuff, and then you're watching and you're like, oh man, I want to watch this. Where can I watch this? And then, oh, there's a link in the description. Let me pay for that. So you're telling me that doesn't bring revenue to the promoter? It just doesn't make sense to me. But I really want to know what you guys have to say in the comments on this one as well. Please leave a comment. I think this is a good topic to discuss, and I had to make a video on this because we talked about this on the podcast, the Arm Wrestling Buzz, today, which was fantastic podcast. So this was one of the topics that came up that was kind of controversial. So here I'm sharing my raw thoughts about it, and that's it.